The movie opens with a Senate meeting where retired Army officer Theodore Hayes is being interviewed for the position of Navy Secretary. The discussion focuses on the limited roles available to women in the Navy. As Hayes attempts to explain the situation, Senator Lillian DeHaven from Texas abruptly interrupts him. She criticizes the Navy's poor treatment of women in the past and backs her argument with a classified document called the Lark Report. This report contains statements from Navy officials that not only question women's capabilities but also include blatantly sexist remarks. Following this revelation, the Navy holds a private meeting with DeHaven in her office, where high-ranking officials from the Department of Defense (DoD) are present. These officials strongly oppose the inclusion of women in the Navy and propose a strategy to undermine DeHaven's push for gender equality. They suggest allowing a woman to join the Navy under one condition: she must complete one of their elite training programs. DeHaven immediately recognizes this as a setup. The DoD intends to select the most grueling program to ensure that the female candidate fails, proving their point that women do not belong in combat roles. However, DeHaven sees an opportunity. Even if the woman fails, the publicity surrounding the attempt could benefit her political career, so she agrees. Outside the Senate, the DoD meets with Hayes and finalizes their decision. They choose the most physically demanding program available, the U.S. Navy Combined Reconnaissance Team (CRT). The training is notoriously brutal, with a dropout rate of 60% by the fourth week. The third week, known as Hell Week, is particularly grueling. The officials are confident that no woman will last beyond the first week. The story then shifts focus to Lieutenant Jordan O'Neill, a topographic analyst in the Navy. She is stationed in a satellite control room, assisting a SEAL team in the middle of a high-stakes operation. When the team loses communication, one officer suggests sending reinforcements, but backup would take 18 minutes to arrive. Instead, O'Neill comes up with an alternative plan. She argues that the highly trained SEALs will likely find a safer escape route on their own. Studying satellite imagery, she pinpoints an alternative pickup location that would cut the rescue time in half. Her plan is approved, and exactly 9 minutes later, the SEAL team successfully reaches the designated extraction point. Thanks to O'Neill's quick thinking, a major disaster is averted. Meanwhile, Senator DeHaven begins searching for the perfect female candidate for the CRT program. She rejects a triathlete for being too thin and a powerlifter for looking too masculine. DeHaven wants someone who not only possesses intelligence and physical strength but also maintains a traditionally feminine appearance to prove that any woman, not just elite athletes, can succeed in the Navy. She ultimately selects Lieutenant Jordan O'Neill, who is not only an Olympic triathlon contender but also highly intelligent and conventionally attractive, making her the ideal candidate for DeHaven's plan. After a long day at work, O'Neill spends the evening with her fiancé, Lieutenant Commander Royce Harper, a Navy operational officer. He praises her for her quick-thinking rescue strategy but warns her against getting too involved in military operations, reminding her that she is an intelligence officer, not a combat soldier. Their conversation is interrupted by an urgent phone call summoning O'Neill to a meeting with Senator DeHaven. During their discussion, DeHaven briefs O'Neill on the CRT program and its significance. She explains that if O'Neill successfully completes the training, it will pave the way for women to serve in combat roles in the Navy. Later, O'Neill shares this unexpected opportunity with her fiancé, contemplating whether she should accept the challenge. However, Royce is not thrilled about O'Neill's decision. He is deeply concerned about the dangers she will face. The CRT program is incredibly demanding, with a high risk of severe injuries, some of which could be permanent. Additionally, she will have to train and live alongside male trainees who may not respect her presence. Even if she succeeds, she could be deployed on extended active missions, forcing Royce to wait for her indefinitely. O'Neill is hurt by Royce's lack of support. She feels that he doubts both her abilities and their relationship. Instead of discouraging her, his hesitation only strengthens her resolve. Determined to prove him and everyone else wrong, she commits to the CRT program. A few days later, O'Neill arrives at the training facility. Unlike the male trainees, she is assigned a private room, separate from the shared dormitories. Word quickly spreads that a woman has joined the program, and the male trainees react with disapproval. That evening, when O'Neill enters the dining hall, she is met with mocking remarks and crude jokes. The hostility in the room is clear, but she chooses to ignore it. The following morning, the grueling training begins. The commanding officer addresses the recruits, warning them that most will not last beyond the third week. He then introduces their primary instructor, Command Master Chief John Urgel. Urgel is a strict and intimidating figure, but unlike the others, he appears indifferent to O'Neill's gender. While inspecting their uniforms, he recites Self-Pity by D.H. Lawrence, a poem that discourages self-victimization. His message is clear: no one will receive special treatment. The trainees' first lesson focuses on carrying and maneuvering heavy military boats under intense physical strain. From the outset, the training is brutal, pushing their bodies to the absolute limit. Throughout the exercises, Virgil reminds them that quitting is always an option. A bell hangs in the training yard, ringing it 3 times is all it takes to leave. O'Neill receives no special favors and endures the same grueling routines as her male counterparts. However, she continues to face sexist remarks and skepticism from those around her. As the day turns into night, the challenges grow even harsher. Dinner time is nothing more than another test. The trainees are given only 4 minutes to eat. Just as they begin their meal, the trainers abruptly order them back to the yard. Their food is discarded, and training resumes on empty stomachs. The following day is no different. They are subjected to freezing water exercises, followed by medical checkups, and later forced to eat the same discarded food from the previous night. Determined to adapt, O'Neill secretly tucks a piece of bread into her pocket, eating quickly before training resumes. Later that evening, Virgil assigns them a written task, an essay on why they want to join the U.S. Navy. However, this is no ordinary assignment. The trainees, exhausted and starving, struggle to focus as Virgil plays soothing opera music, lulling them into unconsciousness while they attempt to write. Anyone who dozes off is immediately dismissed from the program. O'Neill, determined to stay alert, eats the bread she had hidden earlier. The small boost of energy helps her complete the test. 15 minutes later, Command Master Chief John Virgil returns and orders the trainees to rush to the training yard. Their next task is a brutal obstacle course, featuring live gunfire. Before they begin, O'Neill is informed that she will be provided a platform to assist her with certain obstacles. She refuses, insisting that she wants to be treated like everyone else. However, her protests are dismissed. Military regulations dictate that female cadets must have lower obstacle heights than their male counterparts. During the challenge, Virgil watches as O'Neill deliberately avoids using the platforms. She pushes through each obstacle just like the men. When they reach the wall climbing challenge, she even helps her teammates by letting them climb onto her back. However, when it's her turn, the men refuse to return the favor. Their resentment towards her remains strong. The relentless 20-hour training days begin to break many soldiers, causing several to quit. But O'Neill endures, proving her resilience. Despite her perseverance, she remains frustrated by the special treatment with the platforms. Determined to prove her worth, she approaches the commanding officer to demand equal treatment. Instead of support, she is met with sexist remarks. The officer makes it clear he doesn't want a woman in the program. Frustrated but undeterred, O'Neill takes drastic action. She visits a barbershop and chops off her hair, shedding any trace of femininity. Upon returning, she moves her belongings from her private quarters into the communal dormitory with the male trainees. This decision sparks immediate tension, especially when she brings tampons, making the men visibly uncomfortable. Virgil takes notice of the situation and disapproves of her actions. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Hayes has been appointed Secretary of the Navy. He and other Department of Defense officials are unsettled by O'Neill's unexpected success. The experiment was supposed to remain confidential, yet word has spread. The public, unaware of her real identity, refers to her as G.I. Jane. Back at the training facility, the intensity of the program escalates, but O'Neill refuses to back down. She pushes herself harder than ever, determined to silence her critics. Over time, her body grows lean and powerful. Meanwhile, media outlets eagerly pursue the story of the woman who was defying expectations in the Navy's most grueling training. One evening, while O'Neill is showering alone, Virgil arrives with unexpected news. The team's most senior member has been hospitalized with a fractured leg. This makes O'Neill the new team leader, as she is now the most experienced among them. Meanwhile, at the Pentagon, Secretary Hayes and other Department of Defense officials are growing anxious. O'Neill has not only survived Hell Week, she is now proving she can compete on equal footing with the men. However, they still believe she will fail in the next phase: SEER survival, evasion, resistance, and escape. The SEER phase begins. The trainees are dropped into an unfamiliar location, tasked with gathering intelligence and escaping undetected. But SEER is more than just a test of endurance, it prepares soldiers for real-life survival scenarios. Failure is not an option. If captured or requesting early extraction, they will be treated as prisoners of war. During the exercise, 2 team members disregard O'Neill's orders and are quickly captured. Another teammate, rushing to the safe zone, breaks his leg. When O'Neill stops to help him, she, too, is captured. Despite being trainees, they are treated as actual prisoners. The officers take the injured soldier and begin torturing him, demanding information about their team. When it's O'Neill's turn, Urgel personally leads the interrogation. With her hands tied behind her back, he beats her relentlessly. Another officer hesitates, but Urgel orders him to leave. He then drags O'Neill into another room and plunges her head into ice-cold water, escalating the torture. His goal is clear: to force her teammates to reveal their location. But O'Neill resists, signaling them to remain silent. Urging her to break, Urgel takes it a step further, threatening to strip her pants off, arguing that such scenarios are possible in real combat. Instead of backing down, O'Neill fights back. She strikes Urgel between the legs, then kicks him twice. Though momentarily stunned, Urgel quickly regains control and knocks her unconscious. He justifies his brutality by claiming she is unfit for combat. But when O'Neill regains consciousness, she glares at him defiantly and delivers a sharp parting shot. "Go ahead, kiss my ass." The male trainees who once disliked her now cheer her on and join in mocking John. This moment unites the group, turning them into a true team. Seeing this, John finally respects O'Neill for her resilience and leadership. News of G.I. Jane passing the CR training reaches Senator DeHaven, who is thrilled. O'Neill's bravery has earned her the respect of her teammates, who now treat her as an equal and a friend. One day, while O'Neill is relaxing on the beach with her female friends, someone secretly takes photos of her. These photos are sent to the higher-ups, who accuse O'Neill of being homosexual. They claim that being photographed with female officers during training is shameful for the Navy. O'Neill is told she must leave the training while the photos are investigated. She can rejoin the program only if cleared, but she would have to start over from the beginning. Angry and frustrated, O'Neill rings the bell 3 times, signaling she is leaving the program. She goes home to her fiancé, who has shocking news. He shows her proof that the photos were sent from Senator DeHaven's office, the same person who had supported her. It turns out the senator only used O'Neill to promote her political career. DeHaven wanted O'Neill to succeed just enough to scare male leaders, but not fully complete the program. She then used O'Neill as leverage with the Navy to stop military base closures in Texas. When O'Neill confronts DeHaven, the senator first denies knowing anything. Later, she admits to using O'Neill for political gain. O'Neill threatens to expose her to the press for exploiting a woman for personal benefit. This forces DeHaven to back down, and O'Neill returns to training, where her teammates warmly welcome her back. The final phase of training is about to begin when an emergency arises. A satellite powered by dangerous plutonium has crashed in the Libyan desert. A team of U.S. Army Rangers was sent to recover it but needs help. The CRT trainees are sent to assist them. During the mission, O'Neill is nearly spotted by a Libyan soldier. To protect her, Command Master John shoots the soldier, which alerts the Libyan patrol to the U.S. team's presence. A confrontation breaks out, and John gets separated from the team. O'Neill studies the map and realizes John is taking the wrong route to regroup. He is in serious danger. O'Neill takes charge and shows strong leadership and strategy skills. She leads her team to rescue the injured Command Master John, pulling him out of a dangerous area with teammate McCool. Backup helicopters arrive, and with their help, the mission is a success. Everyone who participated is accepted into the CRT. In the final scene, Command Master John thanks O'Neill for saving him. He gives her his Navy Cross Medal and a book of poetry containing Self-Pity by D.H. Lawrence, recognizing her incredible accomplishment and bravery. If you want interesting movie recaps, like, share, and subscribe to follow us for more movie recaps.